So, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining, and I guess we'll wait for a couple more minutes for everyone to join in. We're precisely on time, so let's just wait a minute or two and we will start, okay? So, okay, a couple of minutes have passed, and I guess let's just start. Good morning to you all. Uh, I hope you had the productive day until now. Uh, I hope you already had the chance to have your morning coffee. And for starters, let me introduce myself. So, I am Jonas Puodžius. I'm a Microsoft Modern Workplace sales representative for also Lithuania. And we have gathered here today for me to present to you the Microsoft 365 security solutions for small and medium businesses. And the things that we will cover today are what are the key challenges that small and medium business face in a remote work world? Uh, how can Microsoft 365 business enable secure work from anywhere? In this, we have this pandemic, we have this remote work situation. So, how can Microsoft business enable secure and remote work from anywhere? And third, but how does Microsoft 365 Business helps you by in reducing your IT costs and complexity? And why should you trust Microsoft for your security and as a security vendor? So the world has changed a lot in the last few months, and we're dealing with a business landscape that is markedly different from what it looked like even a few months ago. Employees are working from home or from multiple locations, and they are using a plethora of devices, some personal, some company owned. Uh, and there is a growing realization that remote work is here to stay. So, yeah, let's do it right. And with that, there are three things which are the top of mind for all the businesses and should be the top of mind. So the first thing is how can we do remote work better and ensure employees stay productive and connected? The second one, how do we ensure security of their data and devices in a distributed work environment? And third but not least, and how can we manage costs in the face of uncertainty? So why is security the top priority for 2021? And to put it plain and simple, the COVID pandemic hit hard, and most of us had to start working remotely. A lot of new devices were needed to enable employees to work from home. And needless to say, criminals jumped on this opportunity to exploit any security weakness an organization has. And during this time, organizations are reporting a big spike in phishing emails disguising as sensitive topics regarding the pandemic. A few are shown on the slide. And yeah, and these security attacks have real economic consequences for businesses. A common refrain that we hear is, "I'm too small of a business for hackers to attack me. Only large enterprises need to worry about security." Or, "Why would my data be important for hackers?" Well, as long as your data is important to you, that's all that matters to the hackers. Uh, We could just look at the given examples where cyber attacks have caused a loss from 5 to even 40 and more thousands of dollars for each of the companies. The good news is Microsoft has a solution and provides the answer with Microsoft 365 Business Premium that provides you comprehensive security, remote work solution to help address these needs. It brings together your favorite productivity tools like Office and Microsoft Teams, along with advanced remote access, security, and device management capabilities, which becomes let's put it this way, a single solution that has all that you need to run and grow your business while having a peace of mind that your business information is protected. And so let's talk about the capabilities in Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Moving on. And before we start talking about the top segment of the Microsoft 365 business plans, I wanted to show you a comparison of the plans that we are talking about. So you would get the general idea where does Microsoft Business Premium stand. While Business Basic and Business Standard plans are leaning towards providing you with productivity tools, Business Premium adds security features on top of which cover identity, device, application, and document security. With the solutions we are going to cover next. So move it. So yeah, starting off, let's talk about the secure access and identity protection. How can Microsoft help you with that? And enabling secure access is really the first step towards enabling the ability for users to work from anywhere. The first few solutions for this are MFA, Azure Active Directory, and Windows Virtual Desktop. And with them, you will be able to, uh, firstly, protect against the lost or stolen passwords by using additional layer of security using multi-factor authentication. Secondly, provide the right people with the right access to work apps using Azure Active Directory. And thirdly, you can enable secure remote desktop access with Windows Virtual Desktop. And starting off with MFA, we all know that passwords are the weakest link in any security chain. So by turning on MFA authentication, we can guarantee that no one can access your account just by knowing your password. It is literally impossible because Microsoft provides quite a few options that you can use as a secondary authentication tool. And them being the Microsoft Authenticator tool on your mobile phone, it's an app. Uh, Windows Hello features, which are inbuilt in Windows, that uses your fingerprint scanner on your laptop or your webcam to scan your face. And finally, you can even use FIDO2 security keys. And all of these options require minimal effort and should not be a big bother for you. But if you're still hesitant, that this will provide unwanted, let's say, disruption. You can use these features like condition. You can use additional features like conditional access, which will allow you to manage what apps and services in your organization require for users to use MFA. So it's completely manageable. You don't have to put MFA on everything. You can put on particular apps, on particular resources. Whatever you need, it is possible to do. One second, please. Oh, it switched. So yeah, and now that we covered the passwords, we are going to move on to Azure Active Directory, which is actually the backbone of the whole Microsoft 365 system. It is the main cloud-based solution for identity and access management in the Microsoft environment. By enrolling users into Azure Active Directory, you will take full control of your users' ability to log on and use apps. You have a full control on when and who can connect to what applications. And this can also include on-premises apps, which you can control by making sign-in policies for different scenarios. Just to put it in an example, if you have not enabled MFA and a user tries to access an account from a country you are not doing business in, you can create a policy which will only allow access logging in from only one particular countries. Let's say you don't do business in Belgium and someone is trying to access one of your organizational apps from Belgium. And it goes through Azure Active Directory, and Azure Active Directory recognizes that the connection comes from Belgium. You have not gave it to Belgium access, and they will not be able to access any organizational data while logging in from Belgium. This is just an example. And yeah, and on top, you could also use conditional access, which can restrict access from unrecognized devices that are not enrolled or managed by the organization. For this to be used, you will also have to have Intune enabled. So moving on, regarding the Windows Virtual Desktop, I would only like to mention that this is a feature which we will get with the Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Uh, but we will not go into it because my colleague Simas is providing a full presentation on this today from 12:30. So I really encourage you to join in and to check this out. He will give you the full presentation in detail. What is my Windows Virtual Desktop? And yeah, so let's move on. And so now we will talk about the external and internal protection. And this can be done by and yeah, let's talk about how Microsoft 365 Business Premium helps you defense against cyber threats like phishing attacks, ransomware, and safeguard your business and customer data while helping you gain visibility into cloud app usage so you can uncover hidden risks. And the first one is like we talked before, the switch of working from home in the world has called upon a huge increase in cyber attacks. And by activating the first security feature we're talking about right now, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, you will get the following solutions which will prevent from outside security breaches and help you safeguard from phishing, spoofing, ransomware, and similar cyber attacks. And Microsoft Defender has the following solutions to encourage this and how they deal with this. And the first one is SafeLinks. SafeLinks scans for malicious websites that are linked in documents that are sent to you, uh, in documents and emails, and completely blocks access to them. It, it has safe attachments, which scans for malware by analyzing the email attachments. It has ATP, advanced threat protection, anti-phishing intelligence. While enabled, it enables anti-phishing policies which use advanced analysis of email attachments to scan for malware. And finally, we have Windows Defender, which protects all of your Windows 10 devices by protecting devices from malware and other malicious threats. And these solutions cover all of the apps within the Office environment. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Teams, SharePoint, Office, uh, every it is covered by these solutions cover every Microsoft productivity tool that you are using on the daily basis. So while we're talking about the full Office support, we're talking about Teams, we're talking about OneDrive, we're talking about SharePoint, we're talking about email. It covers it all. And while working from home became the new normal, our ability to track devices and users has really become an even bigger challenge. That is why Microsoft implemented the antivirus management for the sole purpose of giving insight on the threats that have targeted devices um, and users in your organization. And you can check the health and situation of each of the devices that you as an organization manages from your admin dashboard. What will it allow you to do is view active threats, uh, verify every device health, and identify the action needed for a particular device. And for this to work properly, Intune must be enrolled in these devices, which will also allow you to take remote action on the issues that were reported. I know I have mentioned Intune a couple of times, but bear with me. Intune is coming a little further on the way. We will talk about Intune and what it is. And now that we have covered how Microsoft helps you secure from outside breaches, let's talk about the solutions that help you protect data from the inside. A lot of sensitive data is communicated on the daily basis in and out of organization. The data goes in and out to your customers, to your partners, to suppliers, and so on and so on. So we need to make sure this data doesn't fall in the wrong hands. And Microsoft has two core solutions for that, and which are as follows. The first one is data loss prevention, which is implemented by the organization's administrator by setting up policies what can or can't be done with any of the given document type. Microsoft uses deep content analysis to determine the type of information in any given document or email and enforces restrictions that are set up by the security administrator. As an example, this could be blocking the ability to copy and paste credit card numbers from a given file, as an example, a given file or folder, even, or folder which is in a personal storage, or restrict access to copy anything from, let's say, organizational folder from SharePoint and copying it to your personal device. It can restrict the access to do that. And the other one, which is kind of similar but a bit different, is Azure information protection. And it is actually kind of the same, but it is managed by every user on the document basis. So when we were talking about data loss prevention is managed by the security administrator, which is providing policies, general policies on the full organization. And with Azure and information protection, we can create labels for each of the documents, and we can safeguard them by preventing someone to open it. So we can encrypt them. We can mark them as confidential, which will not allow to forward this document. We will not allow to copy paste it, and so on and so on. And yeah, this is a new feature that was added in Azure Active Directory Premium P1 plan, which will allow you to discover applications in use and measure usage by number of users, volume of traffic on, or number of the web requests to the application, identify the users that are using an application, export data for additional online analysis, and prioritize applications to bring under IT control, and integrate applications easily to enable single sign-on and user management. Now that we have covered most of the security topics, let's talk about the final part, which will help you secure personal and company-owned devices. This is where we will start to talk about Intune, which I mentioned before. And going into this, the two core Microsoft solutions for managing work data on mobile devices and securing Windows devices, they are Intune and Autopilot. Intune is a solution that allows you to manage devices, and Autopilot helps you deploy and enroll new devices. So starting off, there are two ways to manage mobile devices with Intune. The first one is mobile application management, which is MAM for short. And when you manage business apps that are linked to your organization but used on personal devices, Outlook, Teams, and probably similar. Organizations can enforce certain policies which will manage what users can and can do on the particular apps that were enrolled into Intune mobile application manager. And this will separate the personal data and the data which is linked to an organization, and only controls the applications that are linked to the organization. With it, you can manage what can be done within an app or on a personal device. Uh, f- let's put in a few examples in this case. You can limit access and the ability to open and view organizational data on a personal device, or enforce MFA to be used every time a sensitive document is about to be opened. And to put it more plainly and bluntly, let's say you bought a new phone. Every one of us uses Outlook, probably on our personal phones. We maybe use Teams. We may use other organizations. We may use SharePoint. We may use our organization's OneDrive. There are a lot of features we can use. And what mobile application management allows us to do is set up policies that, let's say, if I open up Outlook on my personal device, I do look up an email, and a co-workers sent me, let's say, some very sensitive information about the client. And for some reason unknown, and I'm just trying to do harm to my organization. I want to do something bad. I want to harm my organization's reputation or whatever. I'll try to copy and paste this information to my personal storage for safekeeping, so that one day I may want to do harm to the organization. This is the extreme example. The It will not allow it. You- the policy that was enforced, can be enforced, will not allow anything to be copied, will not allow anything to be saved on any personal storage. And this is a power. And With mobile application manager, the great thing is that we do not enroll the full device into this management. It's still your personal device. It only manages the apps, the selected apps that are enrolled into your organization. And that brings us to the second solution is mobile device management. And when we are talking about mobile device management, we're talking about company-owned devices, for which Intune can take full control. The administrator has full access of the device and can, for example, publish mobile apps to selected users, configure and update apps, enforce work data that can be saved in personal apps, secure and remove data at any given time. This is a completely different way of managing. So if it's a company owned device, the company has the full rights to manage this device completely. Let's say you lose this device. You lost you're were going through an airport, you lost your laptop. Oh no, all the data is there, and it can be as simple as that. You call your security administrator. You have Intune enrolled, and he has the ability to completely wipe the your laptop while it is enrolled in the mobile device management or into. This is the power the security administrator has while Intune is enrolled on a device. And it covers all laptops, tablets, mobile phones, any personal mobile device. And yeah, let's see an example on another example on how can we practically use MDM and MAM solutions. And starting off, let's talk about MAM, where we manage applications on the personal own device. And as an example, what can we do? Our capabilities here include app encryption at rest, app access control, PIN or credentials. Let's say you want to open up an app, and it will require you to put in a PIN or any secondary authentication tool that you have enrolled. And if you don't, it will not allow any access, let's say, to your Outlook, to your Word, to your Skype or OneDrive, and so on. It can also block the access to copy, paste, save. It can restrict us, and it has the ability on the app level when we're talking about mobile application manager. Selective wipe. For MDM, we have managed web browsing, and we have secure viewing of PDFs and images and videos. And like we talked before, Microsoft Defender in Tune works side by side and will allow you to easily manage and secure Windows devices through mobile device management policies, to get automatic updates, enforce Defender antivirus solutions, and sorry, enforce Defender antivirus through a simple toggle of a switch. You just go in, you to toggle a few switches, and it automatically enrolls the given device into these policies. And finally, Autopilot is probably the best feature for IT departments, because Autopilot allows you to fastly and efficiently enroll any new Windows device into the organization. Autopilot allows you to drop ship a new device, and the user only needs to take a few more steps for the device to be fully ready and enrolled in the organization's environment. It will auto-deploy Windows, enroll the device in Azure Active Directory, auto-enroll the device into mobile device management, services like Intune, uh, auto-assign the device to a selected group and device profile, and finally customize content that is specific to organization. Um, let's take a practical example. At this COVID situation where we are all working from home, your computer suddenly dies. You call your IT department. Okay, your computer died. There's nothing else to do. Uh, they order a new one. They can directly ship this to the user. While you log this onto the internet, the IT department has the ability just to let the autopilot do its thing, and your computer will be completely set up in a matter of hours, without any intrusion, without any additional work from the IT department. It will do this will be done automatically. And now, so let's see how all of these solutions come together, and why are we talking about Microsoft 365 Business Premium. And to summarize, Microsoft Business Premium brings together multi-layered security for each of the main pillars we want to keep secure in our organization. We have solutions for every possible scenario. And on the slide, we can see a few given examples on how can we secure each of these and what can we do to safeguard our organizations. So like we talked before, we have identity security. For that, we have Azure Active Directory features like multi-factor authentication. We have self-service password reset, which is a part of Azure Active Directory. We have conditional access, which allows us to make particular policies in Azure Active Directory. We have dynamic groups, which means that we can make groups for conditional access. We don't have to enforce the same policy to the whole organization. We can make separate groups for which we can enforce separate policies. We have device security, for which we have Microsoft Defender antivirus. We have full centralized management of mobile and laptops with Intune. We have remote wipe of data of on a lost or stolen device, like I told you before. Intune has the full capability to completely wipe a device. Let's say it was lost. We have BitLocker encryption, and we have the ability to enforce strong PIN requirements along with Wi-Fi and VPN profiles. We have application-based level security. We have the ability to restrict, copy, paste, and save corporate data to personal apps using Intune app protection policies. We have Defender for Office 365 for protection against malware and zero-day attacks. We have data loss prevention to monitor sensitive data from being transmitted. And we have email restrictions like do not forward or encrypt an email, like we talked about Azure Information Protection. And we have document security, which is Azure Information Protection, which protects and classifies documents for secure sharing, including in Teams, and the ability to revoke access to documents and to track sensitive documents and what has happened to them. So yeah, and why do we choose the business premium while we have a business standard, business basic, which has Office and it has everything we need, right? Yeah. No, and the thing is, why we choose Microsoft Business Premium is that it brings together the key capabilities you need to enable work from anywhere scenario, uh, and it has all the necessary collaboration tools already built in uh, that you are used to, like Teams, and Office, and many more. And it also helps you secure identity, data, and devices, and provide remote access and virtual desktops. I'm sorry I didn't talk too much about virtual desktops, but like I said, please do log in from 12:30. My colleague Usimas has the full presentation on Windows Virtual Desktop, which I really encourage you to watch. And as for you as a customer, it eliminates the need for multi-point solutions, which really simplifies the licensing and management. And what I mean by that is we can just look at the common example. This is how Microsoft sees it could be possible when you get the whole package from Microsoft Business Premium perspective and what it would cost from a multi-point perspective. And you can see we have security, identity, and device management solutions that would cost from, let's say, remote access solutions, $5, advanced email protection, $5, single sign-on, $2, conditional access plus MFA, $6, endpoint and antivirus management, $3, device management, $4, and finally we come to collaboration and productivity apps, which are $12, and probably another you'll need another chat-based collaboration tool, which is another $7. And it all boils down to around 40, 50, possibly a bit more, a bit less dollars. While Microsoft Business Premium gives you all this in a one package solution, and not from multiple vendors, only from one vendor, and it costs way less than trying to get all of these necessary features from multiple vendors. And finally, sometimes questions rise if Microsoft is really a security vendor, and why should you trust Microsoft to be your security vendor? And this slide shows some actual numbers on how secure and powerful Microsoft solutions are. You can just leave it for a minute, not to talk about what is on the slide. You can see it for yourself. And yeah, Microsoft is a powerhouse on security. That it has the ability, it has the money to do what is needed to be done. So, and yeah, when we're moving on, Microsoft is an industry recognized leader in security. And Gartner recently released Magic Quadrants for EP and EM and access management. And Microsoft is a leader in all five. And with that, we can safely say that we can trust Microsoft solutions to do the job, what we require them to do. And one last thing that Microsoft is really proud about is that their Microsoft Defender antivirus is ranked as one of the top antivirus solutions by tests made by antivirus tests, antivirus comparatives, SE Labs, and more. They have the top score of AV tests for protection score 6 out of 6. uh, AV comparatives protection rating scored in the almost 100. SE Labs gave them triple A's, and Meter industry leading optics and detection capabilities also gave them every, the highest score. And to that, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here in this presentation. And I'll guess it's time for your questions. If you have any questions, it's the time to ask them. And possibly if you don't or may have questions in the future, please feel free to contact me at any time. I will try to help you in any way or shape possible. So thank you all, and for now I will stop the presentation. I'll now just check if there are any questions from you. So guys, are there any questions? Feel free to ask. I'm here. We have a minute or two before the presentation ends, so ask now or, or ask later.
Jonas, I think that we have to wrap up the presentation because in 2 minutes we have another session. So, yeah, let's keep the questions in the chat, or you can contact Jonas, I think, by the email that was provided like in the very beginning of the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you all for joining in, and I hope it was good for you. Okay, so thank you, and bye for now.